June 1314. The fate of Scotland hangs in the balance. Thousands of warriors stand on the fields of Bannockburn, ready to fight, bleed, and die. The air is thick with tension, the ground trembling beneath the weight of history. For the Scots, it is a battle for freedom. For the English, it is a battle for domination. This is the Battle of Bannockburn, Scotland's bloodiest battle. But how did we get here? And how did an outnumbered Scottish army, led by Robert the Bruce, crush the mighty English forces of King Edward II? Stay with us as we break down one of the most decisive battles in medieval warfare, unraveling the tactics, the betrayals, and the heroism that shaped Scottish history forever. And before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because this is one battle you don't want to miss. To understand why the Battle of Bannockburn was so crucial, we need to rewind the clock to 1296. Scotland, once a proud and independent kingdom, had been dragged into a brutal war with England. King Edward I, known as the Hammer of the Scots, invaded, crushed resistance, and installed his own puppet ruler. But Scotland was not broken. From the shadows rose Robert the Bruce, a warrior, a leader, a king. After seizing the throne in 1306, he faced betrayal, exile, and near defeat. Yet, through sheer determination and strategic brilliance, he fought back, rallying the Scots against English oppression. By 1314, Scotland's independence was within reach, but to secure it, Bruce had to face the might of England's new ruler, King Edward II. King Edward II was not his father. Unlike the ruthless and cunning Edward I, the new king was indecisive and unpopular. But in 1314, he had no choice. Stirling Castle, England's last stronghold in Scotland, was under siege. If it fell, England's grip on Scotland would be severed forever. And so, Edward raised an army of nearly 25,000 men, a force made up of knights, archers, and battle-hardened soldiers. His goal? Crush Bruce's army and reclaim Scotland. But Bruce was ready. Robert the Bruce knew that he couldn't match England's numbers. Instead, he had a plan that would change history. First, he chose Bannockburn as the battlefield. Why? Because its terrain gave the Scots an advantage. The marshy land and dense forests would limit England's cavalry, one of their deadliest weapons. Second, Bruce's army was well trained in schiltrons, tight-knit formations of spearmen that could hold off even the most fearsome cavalry charges. And finally, Bruce instilled something more powerful than swords or strategy: unbreakable morale. This was not just another battle for his men. It was a fight for their homeland. On June 23, 1314, the English army approached Bannockburn. Confident in their superior numbers, they expected an easy victory. Then, something incredible happened. As the English knights advanced, Robert the Bruce himself rode out, armed with nothing but a battle axe. Facing him was Henry de Bohun, an English knight, eager for glory. The two warriors locked eyes. De Bohun charged, but Bruce didn't flinch. At the last moment, he dodged the attack and, crack, his axe shattered Bohun's skull in one devastating strike. The Scots roared. Their king had just shown them what it meant to fight for freedom. That evening, both sides prepared for the decisive clash. June 24th. The final battle began. Edward's army advanced, their heavy cavalry leading the charge. But the Scots stood firm in their schiltron formations, a wall of spears unbreakable against the English knights. The English were trapped, forced into narrow, boggy ground. They couldn't maneuver, they couldn't retreat, and the Scots seized their moment. With sheer determination, they pushed forward. The English ranks collapsed, knights were crushed, archers trampled, and soldiers drowned in the Bannockburn marshes. It was a massacre. Edward II barely escaped with his life. His once great army was utterly destroyed. Scotland had won. The Battle of Bannockburn wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. Scotland would not be ruled by England. Though the war continued for years, Bannockburn secured Robert the Bruce's legacy. In 1320, the Declaration of Arbroath was signed, declaring Scotland's right to independence. And in 1328, England finally recognized Scotland as a free nation. Bannockburn was more than a battle. It was the birth of a nation. And that, my friends, is how an outnumbered Scottish army crushed England's might and changed history forever. What do you think? Could Robert the Bruce have won without the terrain advantage? Let's discuss in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into medieval warfare, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a battle breakdown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.